welcome to What is Going On in the UC. Today we're going to talk about the difference between first and second generation. Why do people have a hard time understanding the difference between first and second generation? When I was young, I thought that I was going to be a quote-unquote good man. I thought I was going to be a good man because my home was good, and for all I could see, the world around me was good. There were good people. There were good people in my church, good people at the sleepaway camp that I went to. My father was good and my mother was good. But when I turned about 15, 16 years old, can't remember which summer it was, my father left with another woman. That shattered my world. And instead of being the inhabitant of a good world, now I'm speaking about my identity and how I saw myself. Instead of seeing myself as an inhabitant of a good world, destined to be good in a good world, I saw myself as being the inhabitant of a broken home in a broken world. And I had to start figuring out whether or not I was going to play the game out in the world that I had newly come to see. It was at that point where I felt I had reasons to go along with the world and fell. The world tried to kill me at that point, and by the grace of God I was able to come back to Jesus, and Jesus brought me to the church. And through the blessing and 3-day ceremony and Jesus' personal attention, my identity was rehabilitated. Now, I know that my identity is rehabilitated when I had to come up against certain challenges with dark forces. So if a person is spiritually dull and cannot recognize that they're even in a spiritual battle, then maybe you won't understand the difference between first and second generation. But as a person who's gone through battles with dark forces, I know that the only thing that got me through some of those battles was the blood of true parents. And I used the blood of true parents to make demons cringe, to make demons feel lesser than, myself. Because they couldn't deny that, the more they took advantage of me, the more they realized that I had something greater than what they had ever had. And I knew that the thing that weakened them, without me doing anything, was the blood inside of me. Some of the more superficial reasons why blessed children should be able to, engage in spiritual warfare and win. First of all, as first generation, we each are a monument of satanic love. Physically, our features are brought together by Satan. Nobody can say that God brought their mother and father together in the fallen world. They were not matched under the authority of God. Best case scenario was, they had the hots for each other, got married, and had kids, right, as a result. But it wasn't the direct intervention of God that created that child. Nobody can say that my child is the direct result of God. But blessed children, if they're educated and talked to in the right manner, can be led to see themselves as physically existing because of God. Their very facial features sing hallelujah to God. I'm sure I look externally like my lust-filled father who got my mom pregnant when she was 19. Okay, and I look a little bit like her, 19-year-old girl who broke her vows of chastity in front of the Catholic Church and blah, 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 right? We all have our problems, right? But I actually look like these people. But second gen don't look like the result of that type of spiritual arrangement. So one thing that they should take with them is the fact that their nose, their eyes, every cell in their body testifies that they are here because of God. Another way to look at it is this. As first gen, we physically are here because we came from stolen sperm and stolen egg. Okay, lust took the creation of God, the sperm and that egg, and put them together under the spirit and prompting of lust. So first gen, you could say we could say we are the result. We are the offspring of thieves. Father often called men in the audience thieves, and but blessed children. There's no way that Satan can approach them and say that they are the offspring of thieves. Actually, they're glowing, whether they know it or not. They're glowing with a dignity that says, I am not from stolen sperm and stolen egg. I am supposed to be here. And from the time that blessed children are born, they look like something that God put together, and they look like something that God wanted to be here. But they have to be talked to in that. Does that mean that they're better than other people? No, it just means that they should be in the position to lead people past or through many of the pitfalls that fallen people find hard to navigate. That's what it means. It doesn't mean that they're better than or have greater value than first gen or fallen people. It just means that in the places where Satan is able to stop fallen people, they should be able to slip through those problems much easier, okay? If they're in the right conversation, conscious of what their conception and their birth means. There are some certain things that they should be able to navigate better. It's a difference in potential. As first gen, when we get the blessing, I like to say this. The first time that I looked like something that God spoke for and really wanted to exist is when I stand next to my spouse, which true parents gave me. That's the first time that I look like physically, like I'm physically saved and no longer physically look like something that Satan created. I physically look like something that God created when I stand next to my spouse. So if I understand that, then just by being around my wife and my children, I'm liberated from certain accusation and certain self-doubt. And you've got to be liberated from accusation and self-doubt, because Satan means to use accusation, self-doubt to trip you and keep you from moving forward. If he can get you to waste your entire life without doing anything for God, without singing your own song, okay? You have a symphony, you have a masterpiece to write before you go to the spirit world. If he can keep you from adding the plus to this world before you go, that's what he's going to do, because he doesn't need more godly songs. He doesn't need more godly art. He doesn't want that kind of thing. So he doesn't want you to know who you are, because he wants to be able to trip you. He wants you to turn around and not face certain questions, and he wants you to go and live a relatively impotent life. So what's the difference between a second gen and a first gen? Well, if they're in the right conversation about things, then they should be able to navigate the pitfalls that Satan has in this world. And they should be able to do things that Adam and Eve were able to do before the fall. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. I could say a lot more, but talk to you next time.